Good morning. Have you ever been an underachiever? Well, I go ahead and set up our live today and get all the correct buttons pushed, make sure that I've got good audio. I'm an underachiever today. I went to bed early this morning, was so late. It was a big day yesterday. I woke up this morning recognizing immediately that my body was not at full capacity. And I started taking things off my list that could be accomplished today so that my expectations and the input that I had given my body matched. And in the process of being an underachiever, I actually achieved more because my expectations were realistic today. And I held on to my magnesium because I didn't assume I was going to be able to get all these things done with the level of sleep that I got. For me, being an underachiever has helped me actually achieve more. Think about it and let me know what you think. Today's, we are talking the magnesium morning trifecta. And okay, I'm addicted to post-it notes. I have been taking notes on post-it notes for our class, making sure that I'm just getting everything set up. And here's what I want to do. We will be diving deep. You may not be able to join me on the entire class, and we might go over 30 minutes. Might happen today. This is the concept to kickstart your health. And I want to share some pieces that I've learned so you can determine the best pathway for you with minimum input and maximum output. 3 simple steps in the magnesium morning trifecta supercharge your health. Let's keep it simple, not overwhelming, not all the things. Keep it simple, and we're going to start at the beginning. Is how I'm going to lay out this class. And one of the reasons I got so excited that I grabbed purple notes is this reminded me, this color. I sold my old e-bike. It was too big. I loved the company, loved the e-bike and the quality. It was just too big of a bike for me. And I want to link you to the e-bike that I just bought. I love it. I wake up thinking, how can I fit in a bike ride today? It's the right size. It's got long range battery. I can use my own muscle power or add a little bit of boost when I need it. And it is the perfect fit. And it's the most beautiful lavender color, very similar to this. That e-bike gets me out in the sunshine. And you are going to be able to determine by the end of our time together if being out in the sunshine is the missing link for you. So is how I'm going to lay out this class is, number 1, the magnesium morning trifecta. What is it? It is simply walking in the early morning sunshine and soaking in magnesium. 3 simple steps. Now, we can elongate that step or we can shorten that step. For example, this morning when I got up, not good sleep, off my game because I went to bed early this morning, very minimal sleep. And I had this with you. We needed to connect, right? And I knew I would not have time to go walk a full entire hour in the sunshine. Now, the old me would have been like, oh, I can't do it. I don't have time. I can't be healthy. Can you hear all the broken things there? Time poverty, all or nothing, perfectionism. The updated version of me, the worked on version of me went, okay, I don't have an hour. How can I become an underachiever and still activate healing in my body today? And here is the key. Early morning sunshine, red light therapy is optimized to set your body up to heal. I didn't have an hour to go walk this morning. 5 minutes of early morning sunshine clears an enzyme in your body that makes you tired, and it needs to be cleared every morning. This morning, I didn't get even a 30-minute walk in. Didn't happen. I did get 5 minutes of optimized sunshine, and it recharged me. It made it that my body naturally, without me even knowing or understanding, helped clear that inside that keeps you in that tired state. So, do you see how adjusting your expectations and maybe joining me in the underachieving club can help you optimize your health? Are you clearing that enzyme every morning? Now, when I'm on the computer, I almost always have on blue light glasses. It very much has helped me with tension headaches, eye fatigue, and I love my caddis. The majority of my glasses are caddis, and I love them. I love the technology of the blue light. It's not a blue light film that's over the top. It is actually in the glass. It's ground, when they grind the glass and it's in the glass. And they have been the most effective with the hours and hours that I spend online or in front of a computer. I would not take these glasses and walk out in the sunshine and expect to get that enzyme cleared that will keep me tired all day. I want personally, and remember, I am not a doctor. I'm not diagnosing, prescribing, and I would never tell you what to do. It's none of my business. I'm sharing with you things that I get excited about that are making a difference in my life. The Magnesium morning trifecta, early morning sunshine, walking in magnesium, soaking in undiluted sea brine magnesium that has not been produced from flakes, supercharges your healing pathway. Let's set it out like this. Let's talk about melatonin and what it is. And we're going to cover the different pieces, and then at the end, we'll wrap it up together. The first piece is melatonin. Most of us, I think, people I talk to, when we think of melatonin, we think of sleep and melatonin helping us sleep. We are missing the boat if that's the only thing that we think melatonin does. It does so much more than sleep. And is what I want to do is I made a list here on my Post-it note. Piles and piles of Post-it notes. Melatonin has been shown in clinical studies to reduce acid reflux, to reduce heart risk, to lower blood pressure. Certain migraines decrease substantially when you have increased doses of melatonin. Helps manage pain, plus the sleep benefits. Melatonin does so much for us. Our body, that melatonin production is happening in two places. Our pineal gland in our brain, I call it the sunshine gland. It spreads sunshine throughout the body and in our gut. Now, strong doses of melatonin in our body also help heal the gut. Powerful stuff. When do you produce melatonin? When you're in the early morning sunshine, you are collecting and kickstarting your body into producing and determining the levels of melatonin that you get that night. Now, wait a minute. If we don't always have access to the sun, I can just go buy melatonin in pill form. Stop. There is always a downside to taking a synthetic version of the real thing. It's why I am so passionate about magnesium. I want magnesium soap that is undiluted, never made from flakes. Because when you have the flakes and they're processed, they lose their ability to move your magnesium red blood cell numbers. That is my goal with magnesium. I want magnesium cell saturation in my red blood cell at 6.3 or above. The more processing, the more synthetic the magnesium is, the less ability it has to get you there. And we're going to talk about the bridge of magnesium to melatonin. But let's get back to melatonin and the synthetic version. The synthetic version of melatonin, number one, there's been several cases widespread of it being infected with other things that aren't good for us. Number two, there have now been studies that show that synthetic melatonin increases your Alzheimer's risk. Now, that might not be a big deal for you. That is for me. When you've lost someone to Alzheimer's, you take active steps to do everything so that your brain is as functional as possible at the end. For me, that's a huge deal. When we take that synthetic melatonin, there is always that downside. The other downside to taking synthetic melatonin, it's like muscles. If we don't use our muscles, we lose them. Muscles create energy in our body, in the muscle. If we're not using them, we lose them. Think about it. If you're taking synthetic melatonin, your body is seeing, oh, I don't need to produce melatonin. Here's a version of it. But it's not as good as the melatonin naturally produced when you have your eyeballs in the sunshine and are collecting that early morning light, even if it is just 5 minutes, even if you're only doing it on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday because of your work schedule, even if you can only pull it off 1 day a week. 5 minutes is going to make a difference in how much melatonin your body is producing and the quality of that melatonin. And it's telling your body, if you've utilized synthetic melatonin, it's telling your body, hey, you need to make this on your own. Don't rely on that synthetic outside source. Do not forget how to produce this, how your body is set up to produce melatonin and the early morning sunshine. Now, several times I've referred to my husband as cardiac man because he was born with a deficiency in the size and quality of his veins around his eyes, around his heart, around his feet. And because of that, nutrients in the blood don't flow like they should. And so it's put him behind the curve on taking care of his body. He has a really high maintenance body. Melatonin is also connected to circadian rhythm. Now, what does that have to do with my husband? Simple. If you have someone that you're concerned with cardiac care or heart risk, this is mind-boggling to me. Did you know when we do the daylight saving changes, that's the highest day for heart attacks because of the disruption in circadian rhythm? That's how important a strong circadian rhythm is. Okay, so let's back up a little bit again. We've talked about pineal, we've talked about melatonin, we've talked about sunshine. The rays of the sun have more red and a broader spectrum of colors the first 2 hours that the sun comes up. Remember, 5 minutes. 5 minutes clears an enzyme, increases your melatonin production, and helps set your circadian rhythm and helps you produce more melatonin to sleep more efficiently that night and reduces inflammation. Where does magnesium come into that? When your body has enough magnesium in the cell, when you're using the type of magnesium that has not been processed, that is a sea brine, that is not from flakes, that has not been diluted for profit margin, that is the optimized source of magnesium, the magnesium synergizes and supercharges the melatonin, making it more efficient. So when you get that 5 minutes of early morning sunshine and you've moved a little bit, you're helping the cell to become more efficient. You're getting the magnesium to move and help that melatonin that your body's producing. And you're helping to set your circadian rhythm. Now, okay, so set that aside, but don't forget it. And then we're going to hop back to photons, light photons. I want you, one of my favorite places, and if you've been with me for a while, you might have joined me on my walk with me's. And my walk with me is when I'm on the beach in my home in Morro Bay, and I just walk the ocean and share the thoughts that are going through my head. It is one of my favorite times to hang out with you. That walking, being on the ocean, the waves coming in, the waves going out. Okay, I want you to remember, think of waves coming in, waves going out. That's happening externally, macro. Let's look at the micro. When you go to the cellular level, we need a wave coming in and a wave going out. And that is a strong circadian rhythm. It's actually a little wave in the cell. And when we get it coming in strongly in the morning and going out in the evening, it charges our mitochondria. Mitochondria are the powerhouse of energy inside the cell. So by getting that wave coming in the morning, you are starting the healing in an incredibly powerful way. And this is where perfectionism could walk you away from this. It could absolutely walk you away from this in the fact that you might think, oh, I don't have an hour to walk and then soak and get the morning sunshine. I've got to be to work. I've got people that need to be in different places, or I've got to care for this person, whatever your situation is. This morning, I opened the sliding door and stuck my face out the window with no glasses on to collect that sunshine. I did a little bit of movement on the porch. It was funky, awkward, maybe if you were watching it. Movement, 5 minutes creates power. Don't buy into the lie that you have to have the full hour and then you have to go soak in, no. Let's keep it short, simple, and effective. The magnesium morning trifecta supercharges your health. It takes the light photons in the morning through your eyes and it brings the wave in. And then if you watch the sun go down, you're taking that wave out and you're creating that beautiful rhythm at the cellular level. I don't know about you, but when I hit the ocean, those crashing waves are calming to me. Think of where your waves are at on the micro, at the cellular level. Did you grab some light photons this morning to bring it in to produce your melatonin? Did you soak in magnesium to supercharge the melatonin? And tonight, can you stick your face outside with some walking to bring that wave out and to set that circadian rhythm. We are coming up to a time that time is going to shift. With the time changes, less light, inflammation goes up with less light. Gathering, collecting that light in the morning. And so many times in Morro Bay, there is a haze. I don't know if you've experienced that when you're at the ocean, there's that haze. Even with clouds, you are still collecting the light. It does not have to be a perfect morning. Create. Healthy women create. Create that moment, how it will work in your life, and be okay with the fact. Well, ask yourself, am I okay with the fact I'm not going to do that every day? Why, yes, Kristen, yes, I am. Because it's not going to happen every day. And by releasing myself of that pressure, for me, it actually happens more often. And I feel a lot better because I'm not beating myself up that I didn't walk every morning for a full and complete hour. Gosh, when I do have that, I love it. And I celebrate every single action taken toward my health, put some movement in. And I tell myself, hey, Kristen, you are doing a good job. And you are too. Celebrate. Pick 3 things that you did yesterday. Did you move at all? Did you walk from and get out in that sunshine? Maybe it was just from the front door to the car and you took an extra minute and just collected that beautiful early morning sunshine that helps those light photons set your circadian rhythm inside your cell. Debbie, welcome. Those are fantastic questions. Let me answer that. How long do you need to soak? In my studies, I call myself a magnesium advocate. I've been talking about soaking in magnesium for over 20 years and collecting data from the beautiful women that have shared their journey with me. And here's what I've found. 20 minutes minimum soaking your feet or in the tub, equally effective. One is not better than the other. Make it work for you. 20 minutes, you have utilized 80% of the magnesium in your body, and in 45, you've utilized about 98%. I go for 20 minutes. That's my goal, 20 minutes. Minimum input, maximum output. And yes, it can just be your feet, and that is just as effective as the bathtub. Making sure that the magnesium that you are using to supercharge the light that your pineal is collecting is not made from flakes. I support and have supported numerous businesses that are so similar to mine. I've shared with them my journey. I've shared the ups and downs and what I've learned, what they might want to avoid and what they might want to focus on. I am not saying that I don't support other women entrepreneurs. I am frustrated with the lack of education and the poor quality of magnesium that has flooded the market in the last 2 years since magnesium became in. It's like the in bougie thing. It's been bougie for over 20 years, longer than that. We need to make sure that we understand the difference in magnesium. Epsom salts will not get you to cell saturation. I want that magnesium in my cell, activating the melatonin to make sure I have a wave coming in and crashing out to keep my body functioning to do all the things that I dream of and create all the beautiful moments that I want to create with people that I love. It takes the correct magnesium from the sea, undiluted, from the cleanest source. Here's another pet peeve I have. There are places that are saying they're from the Zechstein Sea. I work and I'm a distributor for North America for this magnesium. And people who say they're getting it from the Zechstein Sea because this is the only source certified to be clean enough to be considered in the European Union, right here, bottled in my warehouse in Logan. And there are so many companies that are saying it's from there, and it is not. Rianne, who is the daughter that has now taken over from Bert, they haven't purchased it through her, and she is the only certified source. Make sure your magnesium is coming from the cleanest source. If it comes from a dirty source and they have to process it to clean it up, to put it in your body, it's lost the ability to get into your cell, create that wave. And that is where health begins, with light, with enough magnesium to activate and supercharge all of the things that happen in our body with collecting light. You and I are collectors. Now, I collect clothes too. I collect other things. My number one focus on creating health is cell saturation, collecting light, and movement. That is the magnesium morning trifecta that makes the first gateway of health your strongest foundation to build other layers on. Now, after we've got that focused and strong, we need to look at, okay, now what do we have left that needs to be focused on? For some people, so many of the problems go away and they don't even have to focus on that. When you put your energy and your creative power into creating a strong foundation with the magnesium morning trifecta that supercharges your mitochondria, that ATP energy, you bring and collect that light. You've got enough magnesium because you've been soaking. You bring in that light, you create a crash, that beautiful wave crashing. Then you watch the sun go down and that wave goes out, and you are creating mitochondria with enough magnesium to create more power at the cellular level. Just 5 minutes in the morning of light will clear enzymes that keep you tired throughout the day. How can you create? Not perfectly. I am living proof. You can create health without doing it perfectly. I do not do it perfectly. I'm in the underachiever club. And by being in the underachiever club, I have actually created better health, less cortisol, less inflammation. I've held on to my magnesium more efficiently by changing the thoughts, because those thoughts can decrease your magnesium levels. And so if you're out there collecting sunshine and you don't have enough magnesium to help you produce the melatonin, you're missing out on the benefits. Soaking in magnesium, collecting sunshine, walking are the most powerful things in the 20 plus years that I have seen women do that help create a strong foundation that takes them from being tired and overwhelmed and hitting the alarm and thinking, I just need 10 more minutes. No, you don't. Another 10 minutes is going to make no difference other than you're 10 minutes behind. 10 more minutes of sleep is not going to change anything. We've got to disrupt what's happening in the cell. We need to create stronger waves happening at the cellular level. And you do that with the magnesium morning trifecta, collecting early morning sunshine, decalcifying your pineal gland. When you have enough magnesium in your body, you walk away from calcium dominance and you enter a magnesium rich environment, which naturally decalcifies your pineal. If you've got too much calcium, if you're low in magnesium, your calcium becomes brittle and it calcifies your pineal and it drops melatonin production. There are so many things and layers happening with the magnesium morning trifecta that set your foundation strongly, that boost you up at the cellular level instead of slapping a Band-Aid on. Now, personally, I will use a little bit of melatonin on my flight. I'm headed over to Amsterdam to actually be at the mine. It's a lifelong dream. Ever since the company was created over 20 plus years ago, I have wanted to meet Rianne and her family in person, and I'm headed over. And I will use some melatonin to help shift my circadian rhythm. I use it very judiciously and very cautiously. If you're using melatonin, ask yourself, have I made the melatonin that my body needs to be producing weaker because I'm now dependent on this melatonin? Am I utilizing light? In fact, and this, remember, I'm not a doctor, not diagnosing, not prescribing. In my opinion, my experience, going from a wheelchair, seizures, to where I'm at today. I missed healing, and it took me so much longer because I focused on food, trying to be perfect with my food. Does food play an important role? Absolutely. Food is powerful. Light is more powerful. Collecting light, collecting sunshine. If you've been focused on food and eating this and not eating that and demonizing this food and this food is that and this food and I've got to eat this food and there's nothing good enough for me to eat, if that has been a part of your experience, maybe take a shift and start and join me and collect light. I love collecting light as much as I love collecting shoes. Light starts the process of healing. Light creates the wave in your cell. Bringing it in the morning, taking it out in the evening, creates the pattern at the cellular level to supercharge your mitochondria to have enough energy that you've got excess, that you've got enough energy to heal, and you have enough energy to love on people, and you have enough energy to create those things that you and only you have been thinking about, because you are not meant to feel lousy all of the time. You are not meant to just lay there in misery, anxiety, and depression. Having that strong wave helps. I'm not saying it completely takes it away. It has not on my journey. It makes it more manageable. And it gives me the ability to create more things. I don't know. Would you join me collecting light? Maybe take a little bit of your energy, focus off of finding the perfect food, or focused on the perfect protocol or diet. Take your focus off that. How long have you been trying to make that work? And has it worked for you? Collect light. Collect light. Soak in magnesium. Oops, I hit that mic, sorry. Soak in magnesium so that you can boost the power of the light that you collected to make melatonin. Hormones become more balanced. Thyroid works more efficiently. Energy increases. Inflammation and pain go down. And I'm not saying it will heal everything. It will give you such a strong foundation, though, that you will ask yourself, why didn't I focus on this earlier? And it needs to be healthy women filter information for what works for them. You and I today, and my excitement over light and collecting light in your pineal and light photons and creating a beautiful wave and the crash of the wave and utilizing light to create help and maximizing the light with magnesium so that your body is taking the light that it collected, creating melatonin, and magnesium boosting the ability of the melatonin to function in your body is one of the most powerful steps I've ever seen people take. And I've been in the trenches with women who just want to feel better because they have things to do. They want to do, to be out there doing things. They're not content with just not feeling good. And they're willing to do something different. And shifting from the perfect food or diet to collecting light has always made a difference so far. Always, always. And they're happier. They wake up happier. They go to sleep happier. And I'm not saying it makes life perfect. There's up days and down days. In fact, I think that's a lie of health, is we think that when we're healthy, everything's easy, everything works. No. When you're healthy, you still have setbacks. You have setbacks, you move forward. Sometimes you're stagnant a little bit. That's the journey. Collecting light supercharges that journey so that your focus isn't just about creating health. It's about connecting with people and loving on them and creating experiences and doing the things that are important to you. Anyway, tell me what you think. Deborah, I love that. It's never too late to start. I hit a wall of overwhelm, and that pattern is so powerful. I was picking up we just set up a trust, and I was picking up all the paperwork for the trust, and there's a lot of details that need to be done. And I just hit overwhelm. Like, I don't understand this. I am out of my knowledge base here of how to do this. And she looked at me and she goes, just one thing, Kristen, just one thing. Go to the bank, present them this paper. I'll walk you through this. Don't look at the whole of the situation. Just focus on one thing. For me, that most important thing has been that 5 minutes of light. 5 minutes of light clears an enzyme in your body that is keeping you tired. It clears, and I want to make sure that I'm realistic with this, because I am in that group of people that depression and anxiety is a part of their journey. And I don't want to discount that, and I don't want it to seem like, oh, it's all sweetness and light and takes everything away. It makes it easier. 5 minutes of light in the morning. The first 2 hours that the sun comes up, we are given that gift every single morning. In case you didn't hit it yesterday, grab it tomorrow. And there's actually today's life could have just, oh my gosh, I love this topic. There's actually 3 stages of life. The morning is the most powerful to create that circadian rhythm, and I think of the waves crashing, and I think of that happening at the cellular level, and understanding that enzymes are being cleared, inflammation is being dropped. Soaking in magnesium along with the light drops that inflammation, making your melatonin more effective, supercharging your mitochondria. And then we layer and build on top of that strong foundation. Then we're not chasing symptoms. We don't have that cupboard full of supplements that we can't remember why we bought them, and we still don't feel good. I did that for years and years and years. It's a very expensive way to waste time, energy, and money and still not feel good. Let's get to the most effective healing, the magnesium morning trifecta. Collecting sunshine, walking in that sunshine, soaking in magnesium soap from Living the Good Life Naturally, unprocessed, not from flakes, never diluted. This is the magnesium that my family puts in and caps. Now, we have a team that helps us. My daughter and I and my husband are still directly a part of it. And our goal is to give you and your family the product that made such a difference in my life and their lives. Oh, magnesium morning trifecta supercharges. your body's ability to heal in a way that I can't even describe to you. I was reading through some emails that I had been sent of women who focused on creating that magnesium morning trifecta, collecting sunshine, movement, and walking in that early morning hours, and soaking in magnesium and achieving cell saturation with a magnesium red blood cell of 6.3 or above. And things like, I can't believe how much easier it is. I can't believe how rested I am. I can't believe how much easier menopause is for me. It's game changing. Let's shift our focus from food a little bit. We have 100 energy points per day is how I think about it. Think how many of those energy points of 100, if you're given 100 energy points every day, how many of those have you been focused on trying to get your food perfect to create optimal health? And then determine, like maybe your number is 68. That's a lot of energy points throughout the day. And how many years have you done that for? Let's take those 68 energy points and determine how many of those energy points you'll shift into creating routines in the morning that optimize your health. Maybe you'll take 30 of those to focus on creating and pulling in your wave at the cellular level, increasing your melatonin, because we talked about heart, inflammation, hormones, sleep, thyroid, acid reflux, pain. More melatonin helps all of that. Your melatonin production is determined by how much sunshine you collect in the morning. I would love, I've said this so many times, I need to put a date on it and accomplish it. I want a t-shirt that like sunshine, that magnesium morning trifecta, collecting sunshine. It's simple. It's provided to us every single morning. And maybe, and many of you are aware, my husband's a double amputee below the knee, BTK. And for a long time, he couldn't even get out right after amputation. And so we would just open up the window so that the light could hit his face and he'd work on moving in the bed. He made it work for him. Make it work for you. Healthy women create. Create your morning routine and join me in being an underachiever and see how it feels to you. Now, for those of you who are very driven, that might feel so off. Try it and see if it works. It really works for me. And I actually accomplish more and I'm much happier doing it that way. Being an underachiever and being okay with, oh, I didn't get it today. Tomorrow, I have a fresh start tomorrow. Oh, I got 5 minutes. Today, I set my timer, 5 minutes. I could make it here, take care of the dogs, make it here, be online, set up the computer, and I got that 5 minutes of sunshine. And make it work for you. Make it work for your mornings. Maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you know it's not going to happen. But Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday would be easier. And so you'll focus on those days, not worry about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're not about perfection here. Healthy people don't do it perfectly. Unhealthy people keep trying to do it perfectly. Let's switch it. Now, it still comes up for me. Still, but I stop that thought and I say, ride the train away. Get away from me. That's a lie. And I'm not buying into that lie today. Anyway, just some thoughts to help you on your journey. I would love to know, for those of you that are here live and for those of you that watch this as a recording, I would love to know, what was your most powerful takeaway in what we talked about today? What was that thing that you went, oh, I get that. I'm going to take a little bit of water while I wait. Oh, thank you, Jesse. That is really kind of you to say that about my voice. I actually am working on um, doing some meditations that I love and recording them as audio for people. So anyway, I've had a lot of people share that with me, and I've not, we've talked about that give receive cycle, how important it is to have that open. And when people have said to me, and it started when I got on the radio years and years ago about my voice, and I pushed that away. Oh, like, no, no. And I'm embracing that. I'm embracing that. And I have them all written out, the ones that I want to share with you, the ones that have been the most impactful to me. And I'm learning about the audio recording and how to have some music that wouldn't be annoying, but would enhance the power of the words. And then that way you and I could hang out together and I could share things that have been so game changing for me. Ooh, embracing that. So thank you very much helping me embrace that, Jesse. Oh, Jill, we don't have to do it perfectly. We don't. And that perfectionism drains our magnesium and makes it that when you soak in magnesium, you're not getting the full benefits. In fact, I'm convinced, my own research, my own feedback from people over the years is that when many times, sometimes it's happening more often though, because we're getting sicker as a society, that when we soak in magnesium, our numbers drop. And in my opinion, perfectionism plays a massive role in that, because we have unrealistic expectations. We've got to make sure we do it right. What is happening? And we're so wound that walks us away from achieving. Now, it's not the only part, and it's not the part for everyone. It does play a big part. Oh, thank you, Jesse. Yes, early morning sunshine, simple, but so powerful. The magnesium morning trifecta supercharges your health journey. Simple, 3 simple steps to activate all of those things in your body. The most powerful healing, melatonin and magnesium to enhance the melatonin, to improve gut function, to help hormones, to help sleep, to reduce pain, to reduce cortisol, to set the circadian rhythm, collecting sunshine, walking in that sunshine, and maintaining 6.3 or above with magnesium red blood cell numbers. Now, that test, that magnesium red blood cell test, it's not perfect. No blood test is. It's not perfect. It does show us the 40% of magnesium at the cellular level. It does not show us our bones. And our bones collect about 60% of the magnesium, and that's the amount that they're collecting and utilizing in the body. It doesn't show that portion. So it's a snapshot of the cellular level, what the organs have access to. And the serum is a completely different way to look at magnesium. Magnesium is so important to your body that your body will pull from your organs, pull from your red blood cells to keep your blood serum at 1%. So you're living, breathing, and those base core functions are taken care of. I'm not concerned about my 1%. My body is going to do that naturally. I am concerned if my body had to pull from my organs and my cells to keep my magnesium at 1%, because that's just surviving. I want to thrive. I want to thrive. So many ideas, connections, people to love on, and enough magnesium, creating that magnesium rich environment, utilizing the magnesium morning trifecta, keeping it simple, to build that strong foundation. If I would have understood that concept at the beginning of my journey, it wouldn't have taken me the years and years and years that it did, of the ups and downs and the wasted time and money and energy. So anyway, okay. Okay, Kristen, I'm so glad you brought this up. She's having a hard time figuring out if I should do midday sun because I've had a couple of melanoma spots in the past years. How much? Because there are 3 stages of sunshine, and how much sunshine you get, no one else can tell you. No one, because it is dependent on your genes, on the melanin in your skin, on the oil, the fatty acid profile in your body. The stronger the beta carotene that you have in your body naturally protects you from the sun. The oils, processed oils, and think of restaurants. When you go to a restaurant, that oil gets used over and over and over again. Every time it's heated, it becomes more oxidized and more harmful to our body over and over and over. How much you eat out determines the amount of time, and making sure, making sure that you're doing that in a way that's appropriate for you. For example, I use, and this surprises a lot of people, let's talk about it, we can have a difference of opinion. For me, it would be irresponsible to say, I eat watermelon and that protects my skin from the sun. That wouldn't, yes, watermelon has protective benefits. We're given watermelon in the summer, that's when it's at its peak, and it has a protective benefit of the sun. That's not enough for me. I do eat out. I have had stress. I have had sugar. Now, I finally have an omega acid profile that's in good shape with my 3s, 6s, and 9s. But all of those things come into play. I use a very specific type of sunscreen, and it's much more advanced than what you can buy here in the United States. I buy it from Korea, and it's a good fit for me. So every person has to put that together to be responsible. My dad had skin cancer, and it was horrifying. And it was such a painful journey for him, all over his face. And the scarring and the treatments were brutal. It's not just about the sun. It's about how you're eating, how you're managing stress. Is your nervous system regulated? Where's your beta carotene levels? Where's your omega 369 fatty acid? Where are you at in the sunshine? Like, how much sunshine are you being exposed to, and how strong is that sun depending upon where you live? All of those things have to be brought in together. And I just, Shelley has said this before, low and slow. And I think it's so important to go low and slow. And the beautiful thing about the magnesium morning trifecta is that morning sunshine does not have the same downside if you're not ready for sunshine. The morning sunshine has a different spectrum of light than that afternoon sunshine does. And determining where am I going to focus. And there are many times that I focus on morning, bringing, we talked about the cellular level, bringing that wave in, and the evening, taking that wave out. And it's much more protective than that midday sun. Light heals. What's appropriate for your body? Healthy women filter information and take action. Filtering that information for your experience. I can't say to you, oh, go do this. You have to, I'm sharing the things that I've loved, And then you have to take all of those things into account, especially with midday sun, and determine what is an appropriate response. And that's where board of directors, in fact, I think one of our next live, we should focus on board of directors. Okay, I love that. Early morning sun is simple. That's a beautiful takeaway. 5 minutes in the early morning sunshine clears the enzyme that keeps you tired throughout the day. I went out there and did my little goofy movements. I did this one, where you put your thumbs back and squeeze your shoulders, because I stay hunched like this sometimes. Oh, it feels so good. And it strengthens those muscles that are changing, because we can all do this too much on our phones. Up like this in a V, out like this, but see how those thumbs are back, and it just strengthens those back muscles. I worked on my lymph and I just moved 5 minutes, and I kick-started my journey of creating a strong foundation with the Magnesium morning trifecta, collecting light, increasing my melatonin, and boosting my magnesium levels so I'm getting optimal results for my actions. That's the step that helped me create better health in my own body. Loved being with you. Wednesdays, we dive a little deep. Mondays, our lives are about the basics of soaking. My focus is to start out the basics of soaking. What do you soak in? How long do you soak? My Mondays are just those basics, and then some Q&A. Wednesdays, we dive a little deeper. We go into sunshine and pineal and understanding that wave and circadian rhythm and how important it is to our own health. I've loved being with you. I will not be here Monday, but I will be here the following Wednesday. And remember, the time we spent together, we connected. I hope you felt connected. I felt connected. And I thank those that interacted and commented, because that's what increases that connection for me in this unique online live experience that we can have together. Health is created when you take action on what you learned. If you've ever experienced overwhelm, overwhelm is not an emotion. It is a lack of action. Determining what is my action after this time you and I have had together. Mine, I am going to take, sorry, boo. I'm going to take this cute little guy out for a walk and collect some sunshine. That's my action that I'm taking right now. I will see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.